after college, I got a job in a study abroad office at a university, actually. I went to like Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Spain, and Switzerland, like all within like 3 years of working there. And I got my master's for free.
I did like my first 10 by myself, and it was just like a place to vent, and that's really all I did with it. And then I think my friend wanted to come on and just like, because we would always talk about like hella deep stuff. And then we were like, dude, we should just record, like, we should make a podcast like every other fucking teenage kid, you know?
I was
you
gonna
know?
say like every other guy I know, yeah. Yeah, it's just therapy for white guys, you know.
Did you see Dalton's?
Yeah, yeah, little mix, man.
That was a funny episode to record.
He's such a gem, man. I really love
Dude, it's been so long since I've seen you. I guess we'll just roll this intro and we'll just get started. What do
him.
you have? Like, do you have like a certain amount of time? I don't know what
I'm
time it is.
good.
Okay.
I'm
Cool. I
good.
mean,
Yeah.
most go like an hour and a half. When me and Dalton recorded, we went like an hour and 50. In the last like 15 minutes, we were both kind of like struggling, but we couldn't find like a good way to like close it out. So we just kept like adding more the last like 15 minutes. I remember I was editing it and I was just like, God damn, like end the conversation, bro. After a certain while, you're like, bro, because like people like Rogan, they'll go like 4 hours straight. And I'm like, hmm,
Oh man. Yo, but he has people feeding him things, right?
yeah,
Like I feel like he has
probably.
things like coming into his ears. He's just like
Yeah,
listening. Like, yo, ask him
probably.
this stupid thing.
It's funny with the
Like,
podcast too, because you'll have those guys who like Lex Fridman or Joe Rogan, and they'll have like some conversations are like 4 hours, and then some are like not even an hour. So you know the ones that are an hour, like the guests either like completely didn't speak at all, and those are like the worst because you like prompt and you get some stuff, and they just like yeah, or like no, or it's cool.
oh, dude, I've listened to some boring ones. Yeah, I listened to ones that the guest like was supposed to be an expert, and they just answered yes and no questions. It was fantastic, actually.
All right, guys. Well, we'll get started. Welcome back to your Joyage. It's Cage, your guide. I'll be replacing Little Boy Cedric for now, giving you a break from the constant monologue that is the human mind. I want to say first, thank you for listening, viewing, or platform you're on. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like in this video, so other people can find the Voyage. I hope you're following Joyage Podcast at Joyage Podcast on TikTok and Instagram to stay up to date with everything. I feel like I sound like a zombie right now. I've been up. There's this like NFT giveaway thing that I'm doing, and or this whitelist thing that I want to get on, and you have to be like one of the top 100 active users in this Discord channel, and there's like 16,000 in there, and I'm like top 5 right now, and so I'm just like trying to like hold my spot. It's been a long night. So
Dude, were you awake? Because you were awake at like what? That was like 1 a.m. for sure when you messaged me, at least
yeah,
1:30, if anything. I was like, why is he asking me if I want to do it in like an hour or something? Like, no way. I wouldn't
dude,
stay up that for that.
I was delirious. I was like typing and I was like, what am I even saying? And I would like be like responding to people and I was like, this is madness. I'm doing all this for like a JPEG picture right now. Um, so freaking ridiculous. But anyways, for the people who don't know, this is Tate Bailey. He and I went to high school together. Played soccer. I'm trying to think, that's pretty much it. Just yeah, soccer. He was one of the guys. Do you remember when I went to Winthrop and I think it was Winthrop, and I called you and I was like, hey, you want to do like a little tour? You took us around. You showed us all the spots. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I knew you back in high school and then back at Winthrop, and I'm sure I had 10 to 12 phases in between then.
It is
At the
crazy,
time
isn't it?
I saw, yeah, man, like I had so many like different phases in my life where it was just first I was a soccer guy, and then it was just like I got to college and I was like, yeah, soccer's not for me, and I'm gonna go party a little bit. And then I was like, no, I want to go play soccer. Went right back to playing soccer. Then I was like, I'm gonna go to church now, you know?
What?
And then oh man, I went through
All right, well, I mean, you just got to get into it because I would love to hear this transition because I knew you from soccer and then you went to college. You were still the same dude, a little cooler, but you still played soccer. And then like, I didn't see anything. Fast forward a few years, and I see you're like in Asia, and I was like, wait, what?
That's probably what it went like, man. It was like a fever dream, really. Um, yeah, I got to college and I like was like, all right, I'm gonna party a little bit, because I got out of Charleston, got away from, the old mama bird's wing.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then yeah, I got a little too hard to party there. So I went into like a youth group phase where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna probably fix this by going to church,
Oh yeah.
going
100%.
teaching some youths. Um, and let me think about that. Then I was like, okay, I miss soccer a little bit. I want to go play a little competitive soccer. Played in college for grand total of like three semesters, and then I was like,
Yeah.
nope, don't want to do that. And then so like I went back to Winthrop actually. So I moved away from that, went to Anderson, came back, met a lot of cool people there, man. A lot of cool guys like from around the world. Kind of got me interested in seeing like different parts of things. Um, and I went back to Winthrop and I majored in Spanish. And so I was like, I gotta go somewhere and speak Spanish, like I gotta find somewhere. So I lived in Spain for like 5 months or something like that. But I went the like summer before and like backpacked around Europe a bit. I think that's like I think that's the standard, I guess.
Yeah.
But I went and like saw some guys from my soccer team that I'd met at Anderson, which was really cool. And like I did like 16 countries and
Holy shit.
that span of time. I went hard, dude. And then I was like, I'm not going anywhere for a little while. And that lasted a grand total of like 30 days. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back out there and see a bunch more. Ended up going to like Morocco and like riding some camels. And I just kind of like built me up into that kind of spirit of going somewhere and doing something, right? I mean, that's like a super typical European like getaway, but it was cool, dude. It kind of got me interested in it. And what happened after that? Oh yeah, I went back to school, graduated, and I was like, I have a degree in Spanish. Nice, like let me just go and do something with that.
Do something with it. Yeah, I mean, I have like a public health degree, and it's great. It just hasn't helped me at all in any sense of the
You look
word.
super healthy,
Thank you.
publicly.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I got out of college, I didn't realize this was like a thing, but someone told me they were like, yeah, it's like a joke on Twitter or on TikTok that was going around about people who go to college, like a liberal arts college, like called Charleston, and then just like going into the restaurant industry after like paying like thousands of dollars for a degree, and then you just get a job that doesn't even need it.
You go work at the local restaurant there, make you 25K a year. Get well, I'm not gonna say this about every restaurant, just every restaurant I've worked in, just get like loaded up on some drugs and alcohol and get going.
Dude, the restaurant industry is
Serve families of five.
something else. Oh yeah, for sure. It's something else. I don't know if I'll ever go back. I thought about maybe bartending. I can maybe do that, but I just hate the idea of just being at the mercy of the table. You show up and like something's wrong, like you're the villain.
You know what? And my grandparents are those people. My grandparents are those people every
Mine too.
time. Oh, dude, it's like, you know what? There wasn't enough ice in the sweet tea, and I see my granddad just kind of shaking the glass.
yeah.
He's judging the consistency of his sweet tea. Oh man. Oh, yeah. No, I don't think I'll ever do that again unless I need money. Because to be fair, you can make some money, dude. You can go in there and like make a lot of money, and it's good for travel. That's like what I found out is like you don't have to commit to it. So you can like work there for like 3-4 months, and I'm not gonna say I lied about like my experience on my resume because that would be illegal.
Of course.
But there was some things involved there, that a restaurant that I was like, yeah, I worked there for sure. And I'm definitely committed to this restaurant definitely. So I worked there for about 2 months, made some money, and then I was like, all right, I'm off to Japan. Like,
I was gonna ask, is that how it works with you right now? Are you traveling, working, or
Yeah. So like after college, I got a job in a study abroad office at a university actually. Don't really know how I got that, but
Cool.
like there I was able to like travel around and work because like they would send me to places to go check out the locations and like tell the students about it. Um, so like there I went to like Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Spain, and Switzerland, like all within like 3 years of working there.
That is insane. That's like the best job ever.
Yeah,
Oh
dude,
my
it was great.
God.
And I got my master's for free.
Wow. Dude,
Yeah,
you like took advantage of the system right there.
I
Shit.
cracked the code.
You
I
literally
mean,
did.
like, dude, if you work at a university, at least like full time, not necessarily like professor or like faculty, but if you work like um as a staff member, like think
Mhm.
about all the staff members you had in like college that you didn't even like think were relevant. Like they can get degrees for at least, I think half off is like the minimum that I've seen. And you can get your master's degree, that's what I did.
What'd you get it
um
in?
I got an MBA, but
In Spanish.
no, in business. Like I just business,
Cool.
like
I mean, business is good.
leadership. Like I, dude, what am I doing with that right now? I'm in Korea teaching 6 and 7 year olds. Um,
What do you
that's what
how'd
I
you
do
land those
right now.
jobs? How'd you land those jobs in the Asian countries?
Yeah, like, well, so this is the first one that I've worked in. Like Asia is one of those places where I think if you don't teach, you have to have like a language ability.
Mhm.
So like if you're not like an English teacher, you should probably have like a little bit, fluency in whatever language you're going, whatever country you're heading to. For me, like Korea was just taught because I didn't really want to go to China right now, just because like political unrest and all of that.
Mhm.
And every other country that I looked into was a little bit harder to get into.
Mhm.
So like Korea, I just found like a good organization to like apply with. Um, and yeah, I just applied and they were like, here's what you need. Send us this, and this. Like, well, all you need is a bachelor's degree and a native level of English, and you can go teach in Korea. And
Okay.
basically, like, benefits are outstanding here, man. Like, they pay you, I think, minimum like 2 grand a month, is what I've seen minimum. And you get free housing along with that.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so you can save a lot of money. Like I've saved enough to like pay off loans and stuff. So it's a cool gig. The only thing is like you can get kind of like screwed at some in some locations and some jobs that I've heard.
How
Like
so?
like you can end up working really long hours, or your coworkers don't like you, or
Oh,
your
okay, I
kids
see.
suck, or like I mean I guess like any job, but in Korea you feel a little bit more isolated because like maybe you don't speak the language or whatever.
Okay.
But it's actually a pretty easy language to learn. Like things are pretty simple. Like they have an alphabet, it's not necessarily like Japan where it's like hiragana, what kanji, and
Oh, so
what's the last
extra.
one?
Uh,
Right, there's like
Katakana.
four different, right, yeah. And then yeah, it's like all symbols and symbology, and I can't get into that, but they got a standard alphabet here, man. They got 24 characters or 26 characters, something like that. Once you learn those, you can read everything, and a lot of it's Konglish, so it's like hairdresser, like,
Oh,
but like
really?
written out. Yeah, like
Wow. So I got screwed
pe-
taking Japanese class. Damn.
dude. Yeah, no, when I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, I should probably get some language down. And I learned the alphabet, and I started reading signs, and I was like, this is bullshit. This is like, you're telling me that I was so worked up over reading like two words that were literally Konglish. Like you read it and then you keep, you know, that game where you keep like reading a sentence and then it becomes like something else.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You just keep reading it and then it finally makes sense. And it's super simple, man. But the only thing is like if you don't have like a full grasp of it and someone just starts rattling off Korean to you, you just sit there and just like,
You just take it.
yeah, yeah, dude. Like you're at the DMV and you don't speak English,
Oh,
you know? I feel so much more open to anybody that doesn't speak English, man. And you're doing it. It's tough, man. The English
hmm.
is hard. English is a hard language to learn. You know how many like stupid things that we have in English? There's three theirs.
Dude, oh my
There's-
God. Yeah, I always wondered if our language is hard to learn by other people. I figured it was like the like that kind of thing where it's just different spellings, maybe some slander, and I was like, that's where people would probably get messed up with like, especially with sarcasm and stuff. Some people just don't get it.
Oh, sarcasm doesn't translate in Korean. Like it doesn't.
Nothing.
Like I was
There's
trying
no
to
such thing as smartass.
there's like this face is one of the most important things in Korea. Like you don't show emotion. Like you
Mhm.
save your, you know, your image.
Yeah.
But I was trying to joke with my boss, like just to build some camaraderie, you know. And she was like, Tate, can you help me here with this? And I was like, oh no, I'm really busy. And I'm sitting there on my phone. I'm like,
Oh boy.
and she looked at me like I was like the worst person in the world. I was like, oh man, I think I just screwed up. Like this is like the first or
Man,
second month. I was like, you know what? This worked in the US, but it definitely doesn't work here. So had to like you have to be just like a stone wall at work. It's kind of crazy.
that's hilarious.
But they're super nice people, man. Korea is awesome. Korea is a very cool place.
How did you know you wanted to go there? Was it the was it just it was easier to get in or?
Yeah, it was easier to get in. Like the requirements were like lower. Like I said, I had been to Korea before for like a couple days, because it was like for work, and I checked out Seoul and I went to like the university in Seoul, and I was like, wow, this is like a pretty cool place. The food is awesome. It's super
Yeah.
cheap. Um, and yeah, Korean barbecue, I can't get enough.
Oh
Samgyeopsal, I
my
eat
God.
samgyeopsal like twice a week at least. And it's so cheap, dude. It's like it's called 10,000 won, like man won is what like you say in Korean. And it's like $10, less than $10 for like all
Nice.
you can eat. And I just sit there and, you know, gain 10 kilos. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, like I mean, all in all, I think like it just worked out that and to that like timing wise and everything that like I could come to Korea. Japan was my first choice, I think. But the JET program is the program that I was looking at because it's like the government program, but it's super hard to get into.
Yep.
Super hard. It's like you have to have experience and like a degree and all these things. And I didn't have any of that at the time. And the timing didn't really work out because I was working with my university still, and finishing my master's. So yeah, I think it just kind of like happened. But dude, I dig it now. They're big on hiking here,
Really?
and you know, like South Carolina and like Florida, where I've lived, two
Nothing.
places in the U.S. where I've lived, there's just no hiking, right? Like Florida's flat as hell. Uh, and so I've just been like really into hiking. That's been really cool, you know, just like hiking mountains, and then like you think there's nothing to it, and then you get to the top, and you're just like, okay, you know, this is something.
Oh, 100%, dude. I feel like any like extended travel for like anyone who's traveled more than like a week or two at a time for vacation, you like opens up like an entire new panel of like reality of what's possible and like what's around. Like right now I'm looking at moving to Minnesota. If I had said that to myself a year ago, I would have probably like laughed to myself because I'd be like, "There's nothing in Minnesota. Like Minnesota is that weird like flat farmland. Like who lives out there?" And I went and visited my friend who lives there, and I was like, "Dude, this is great." And like now I'm looking at places to live, and it's just like super cheap to live there. And I was actually so when you said you were going to the JET program, that's I was gonna because I took Japanese for 4 years, and then when I graduated, I was like, well, I wouldn't mind actually like doing something fun and maybe going to Japan. So my dad had a connection. So I was either going to go with Jet, Eon, or like one or two others. And then Jet rejected me, even though I had like everything. I had all my qualifications. I had everything I needed. I was like so sure I was going to get it, and I got rejected. And I went with some other school, and then it got canceled for COVID because they're not letting like anybody in. So
Dude, wow, that sucks. Like I've just heard so many people like that with great qualifications that just didn't get in, and that scared me more than anything. I was like, no, I don't need to be rejected right now. That's happened way too much. Dude, I like that's so true. Like in Minnesota, I like literally all I think about is like it's flat as hell out
yeah,
there.
there's nothing out there. And I got there, and I was like, this place is just like every other place. That was the weird thing, because I was like traveling, and when I first left like 5 months ago, the goal was to like travel, see all these places, make crazy vlogs. And then after like a week or two, I was like, okay, so I don't like making vlogs apparently. And then after, I like, it was stressful. It was really difficult figuring out how to like live, but then also sort of vacation at the same time. And so it's kind of frustrating. I suck at planning too, and like planning is kind of important when you're doing something like this. So there was some very stressful, lots of stressful nights in this journey. But toward like the end, I started like nailing some of the goals I achieved, like mentally and internally and stuff like that. And so I was like, man, I'm kind of like done traveling. So I was just like in the cities a lot, door dashing for money. Like that's how I'm making money on the road. And I was like, man, like every single place everywhere in the whole country is basically the same. Like there's Arby's, there's McDonald's, I see the Walmart. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, it's just like certain surrounding areas.
How does Arby's stay in business? I've never
No
seen
idea.
anybody eat at Arby's. That's ridiculous. It's a front. It's got to be a front for something.
I don't even. I mean, I don't mind. I would eat. I wouldn't go out of my way to go get Arby's, but I would eat Arby's.
Nah.
Serious?
Their freaking thing is we have the meats, man. Come on.
I'm not a big fan of their fries. I don't like their fries. I've always said that, but I don't mind their roast beef sandwiches. I've gone there once or twice in the past like 5 years or so, I would say. But other than the last couple of years.
Well, dude, no, I saw your thing about DoorDash, and it made a lot of sense because van life was a big one for me like
Yeah.
recently as well. Because I mean, what like you said, once you've done the extended travel, once you've gone somewhere for like a good amount of time, you kind of you want to find the next one, right? You want to see like what can I do next, or what's after this. Which I mean, you can get in trouble with like thinking like way too far ahead, and you're like you
Way
don't
too far
enjoy what
ahead.
you're doing now. Yeah, but it's good to plan. Like, and I got into that. I saw your DoorDash thing, and I was like, you know what, that would be a good thing for like van life. And then I thought about
Great.
like, yeah, I thought about like all the gas that I would spend on that, and it would just
Yep.
be
Yeah, the gas sucks.
terrible. But your car makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
like complete sense with your car. Um, yeah, no, I thought that was a really good idea. And I know like a lot of people actually that like just like supplement income with DoorDash, and it just makes sense, man. Just drive around a few hours, make some money.
Literally.
I wish I could
Um,
just drive around and make a few $100s. Like,
well, I remember before I got that job, I was like, man, I wish I could just get paid to do something. Like I would do that thing. I just don't like have anything to like do to make money. And that's when my friend was just like, yo, you should DoorDash. And I was just like, oh shit. I was like,
I
that's a
can
great
drive.
idea. Yeah. I was like, I have a hybrid car. This is perfect. Even though like literally I've been driving my car for 5 months. At that point, it was 3 months straight, basically. And I had read things on like Reddits and stuff about people who do like it's a thing apparently using the Prius, because it's like a great battery for just that. And so there's like a whole community of people who do that. And God, dude, living in a Prius is it's good, but like as soon as I like kind of got like I grew out of it a little bit, it was like quick. It was just like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of here. And it was like really really good timing, because as soon as I started to get like kind of anxious, because I would be in my car, there's nowhere like to go. So like if you can find like a library, that's great. If not, you're just kind of like hanging in your car, and it's kind of cramped. You don't want to cook because it's all cramped, and like everything becomes inconvenient, which is usually offset by the fact that you're traveling. But as soon as the traveling kind of was, I was like, okay, I kind of went everywhere I wanted to go. I was just like, damn, it's time to put like a chapter like a chapter closed for at least this round.
Yeah. So, but like top three. Tell me your top three, at least for like the US.
So top three, um, on this trip. I mean, Hawaii is gonna be there for like it, so if I was gonna do all time, it would be Disney World, Harry Potter Land in Disney World. It would be Hawaii, Kauai, what are the islands in Hawaii, and then Mount Olympia or no, what is it? I forget what the exact place is in Olympic National Park, but that's my number one by far. It's just beautiful. Like I'm a big sucker for like landscapes, like huge landscapes, big mountains, and so Washington State is where that's at, and it's just beautiful. Like I want to live in Washington. It's just too expensive right now, so I want to make as much money as I can now, and then move there when I have some money. So yeah, those are gonna be my top three for sure. How about you?
Did you, well, hold on. You went to the Hawaii? You went out
I
there?
went to Hawaii not on this trip, but this would be like all time. I went in
Oh,
2019 with my friend
okay,
Kent.
okay, okay.
Yeah, and he was like a content creator, so I did like it was like a content trip for the first week, which was crazy. It was like not it was I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, people do this? He was like, yeah, this is how it works. Like when you're a travel photographer, you go to places for the photo, you do like 6 different places in one day, and I was like, fuck, this is kind of exhausting, bro. And he was like, yeah.
Actually, though, that's why like when you were talking about like you don't like vlogging, I feel like that would be it for me. Like I want to sit here for a while. I don't want to film myself sitting here for a while, but
Yeah.
like bringing a lot of people into it, I think is also a good thing that you can do. Because like
Yeah.
people don't think about this stuff, man. People don't think like I can just like go in my car for 3 months.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like especially right out of school, like it's like I gotta go get my job, I gotta go, gotta get settled down, and I gotta buy a house.
Are you looking to live there
Oh,
long term in Korea and staying there?
probably not in Korea. Like probably gonna jump around a little bit for the next few years. Like I have a list. I have a list. I have like this whole, you know, we got to check them off, kind of
What
thing.
What are a couple of them?
Um, Oh man, you want me to get the list out? All
If you want
right,
to, yeah,
here we
if you want
go.
to. I got a small
It's
list, just like a couple things.
like not before I die list, before I like come back to America list.
Okay.
Like so I want to work in Japan. I want to teach in Japan. Um I want to do like horse trekking in Mongolia. Have you seen this?
What is that? Horse trekking?
Dude, you just like, yeah, you just hop on a horse with like a guide in the Mongolia in like the middle of, the steppes, or I think that's how you say it. And you just like to get taken out to this big campsite kind of place, but like you just keep popping around on horses. And like, I just thought that was really cool. I think
Wait,
Mongolia is a cool place.
that's a job?
No, no, that's not a job. That's just
Oh.
something I want to do.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. What else? So like do you know what working holiday is?
What is that?
Yeah. So like when I started looking into things like how I can live in different places, like it was
Okay.
one of the main things that came up. So it's basically like you have to work under part-time. So there's like part-time, and then you have to like work like a little bit under that because it's a holiday, but you're also working.
I see.
So like New Zealand, Australia, and Singapore, they all do it. Um, and you can literally just go and like work like a tourism job,
Mhm.
in like a restaurant or like travel agency or whatever it is for like a little part-time, and then just travel for most of the time. So you just make enough basically to stay a little bit, a little bit ahead of the you can save a little bit obviously if you're frugal, but if you're just traveling like you should be at that
Right.
point, then but yeah, I want to do that in New Zealand and Australia. I want to backpack Southeast Asia, right?
Hell
Like I feel
yeah.
like that's like a big one, right? I think that's everyone's, but I definitely want to do that. Nepal, like I just think Nepal would be like
Oh yeah.
a cathartic experience, Um, and then a lot of things like like more teaching things, but I just thought that like if I'm gonna keep traveling, I need to make some money, obviously. So like teaching in Chile, I've heard actually is decent with teaching and pay. You
Cool.
can do it in like pretty much all of South America, but Chile is the better one that I've heard.
Hmm.
I also know someone that did it in Peru, in like Cusco, like right by Machu Picchu. Um, and teaching in Spain. I think like a lot of
There.
people do that one actually. But
Dude,
that
that
one
would
you
be an
don't.
experience. That would be cool.
When I lived there, I thought I was like, this is like a great place, man. People just take naps in the middle of the day. Like you spend most of your time outside. Like you get these I don't like cubillos, which is like a bucket, and you just like stick beer in the bucket, and like you just keep ordering these buckets of like little small beers, and they're just like this big, uh, and you just sit outside and just chat, and everyone just sits there and chats for like hours.
Yeah, that's like not a thing in America. Like I remember Nancy told me about that in Paris. She was like, "Yeah, we just like sat down at this table for like 4 hours and just like had food and some drinks." And I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I was like everywhere, like people just doing that."
People just do it, or just like go to a park. Here, people just go to the park. They just go sit in a park and like drink and eat chicken. It's great. No, literally, like you go and get like it's called chimek chicken and mekju. So like chicken obviously, and then mekju is beer. And you just get beer. It's 4 for 10 at the local GS. I'd like to shout out to my local GS for
Fire.
all of my calories. Um, and you go to like, well, I personally like Kyo-chan. Shout out to Kyo-chan. Um, I go
Shout
there
out
for my
Kyo-chan.
chicken. Um, and then yeah, you just go sit in a park with your friends and just chat and drink. And then yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. It's just like an activity people do.
How do you compare the beer in Asia versus America? What's the difference? Because I'm not a big beer guy.
Dude, I mean, like, I'm not a big drinker to begin with. Like, I've had to adapt here because people
Oh,
drink
really?
like freaking fishes here. It's crazy. And do you know about like certain Asians like can't break down alcohol,
Hmm.
and so they get like super flushed in their face, or they get really drunk really easily. It's a oh yeah,
Yeah, I get it. The
yeah,
Asian
dude.
flush.
Yeah, it's super red, and I've had to help a few people home, man. Like it's a tough one. To answer your question though, I mean beer is beer to me. It's unfortunate, but I'm not a snob about that sort of thing. Now soju is a whole new experience for me. Uh, it's like a liquor, but there's this one called Jinro, and it's so smooth. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I think it's smooth. I've never had it without beer, so it
Oh,
may
okay.
not be smooth. May taste like gasoline. It just didn't taste like gasoline when I was drinking beer. So if anybody's listening to this and tries it and is like, wow, that guy's full of crap,
Rip.
not my fault.
Damn.
Um, but yeah, dude, it's an experience here, like just different ways of life and different like hangouts. Just hanging out is different here. People don't hang out in their house, or like you don't go to someone's house to hang out.
What do you do?
You know,
Yeah, so we go to the park instead.
like yeah, like well, like like apartment. This is it. Like
There's
you can
nothing.
probably see
Yeah.
behind me. It's just literally like a box,
Hmm.
and there's like a kitchen that's about this big, and there's a bathroom that's about this big, and that's it,
God.
man. The size does not compare to America at all. And so like people don't go hang out in people's houses. You go
Mhm.
to PC cafes and like go game with your friends.
Oh
You go to
yeah.
manga cafes and like go sit and read and hang out and eat snacks and stuff. You go cafe culture is huge here, man. People go into coffee shops and like there's a coffee shop literally every other corner. It's
Love that.
insane. No, man, it is all about the Instagram. It's like, how can we make this as kitschy as possible to take that photo? Now, to be fair, their coffee is good. It's good. I can't lie. But dang, it is all about that Instagram photo.
Is it really? Is it the same stuff in Asia, like with people on social media on their phones, just like glued to their phone? Is it really the same?
Like, well, I mean, obviously you have like I can't stereotype everyone, but like most of the people that I see like out and hanging out or are, unless they're going out and like drinking with their friends, I think that's a different kind of vibe. But like cafes, like everyone is just sitting there like snapping photos or like, like chatting away on their phone, like, a foot from each other.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of feet, metric system.
Oh yeah. So you had to relearn it then, or like
I've had to
learn it?
relearn it, man. Yeah. I feel terrible for all of my science teachers. I'm
Oh
so sorry. I definitely needed it.
wow.
Shout out to West Ashley High.
West Ashley High
Um,
School, man. Do you remember any teachers from West Ashley? Like, do you have any contact with any of them still?
man, it's like, how do I even put this? I remember a few teachers. They're all women.
Wait, hold on. Let me see. Auguste.
Oh, dude,
Maybe Kennerly.
huge
I don't
crush.
remember if Kennerly was there when you were there, Miss Kennerly.
Maybe, but
English
Auguste
teacher.
was the big one.
Yeah, Auguste. I'm trying to think who else we even like talked about. Uh,
I just remember Auguste and like one of the trainers.
yeah. Who was
They were
the
my
trainer? Who was the trainer that was hot?
dude. Can't remember her name.
Either.
But I also remember Kyle Prothrow. Kyle
Oh
Prothrow, shout
God.
out. Um,
Bro, that man told me when I ripped my ACL, he was like, "Oh, you're fine. It's just a sprained knee. Just go back out there." Torn ACL.
no problem, dude. I remember Bile. Do you remember Bile?
I remember that name.
Yeah, he was the engineering teacher.
Okay.
All the classes that weren't like the main subjects, I think I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, Senior Hill. Senior
Oh
Hill.
shit. Yeah, Mr. Hill.
Yeah, dude. Senior Hill,
What a
man.
dude. Oh, so you must have gotten to know him pretty well because you were assumed good at Spanish when you went into college.
Yeah, he was a good dude. Um, he told me he just kind of like prepared me for listen, man, teachers are not well off,
Talking about that, I remember.
Oh, dude, yeah. He's talking about the serving extra money
Yeah.
and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, well, that just kind of ruined my thing because that's what
Yeah.
I was going to do. I was like, I'm totally going to be a high school Spanish teacher. That's so chill. Because he was chill. Oh, dude, my mom got a cane corso. You know what that is?
Is that breed a dog or something?
Yeah, it's a huge dog. That's a monster. Like Google it when you have time. It's literally CANECORSO, cane corso. It is a massive animal,
Wait, hold on.
and it is
I think I know what you're talking about. Let me see. Oh, that's not what I was thinking. Oh wow.
It
Oh,
is
that's
scary.
sick. Wait, I'm trying to think if that's the same. It looks like a mix of like 3 different dogs.
Yeah, like pit bull, like Anatolian shepherd looking bull mastiff.
Good grief. That
Yeah,
dog is a
it is.
beast.
It's like I think it has like the second strongest bite force of a dog in the world.
Wow. You think about getting any animals, or is it pretty much impossible with your way of life at this moment?
Oh, it's totally impossible. There's no way. There's no way I can find like a decent relationship or a decent like pet. I know I shouldn't put those in the same like group, but companionship maybe,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's tough. I mean, I don't even know where I'm gonna be in 6 months, so it's really hard for me to like. I mean, the past like few years has been like that. I've just been like, I don't know, like I don't know where I'm gonna be, and then I'll just like hold out, and then like nothing happens. With the pet thing, I know I'm gonna wait. I just don't want to have. I just don't want to be like tethered down and not be able to accept some kind of like opportunity because I have an animal when I know I can just get one later. And so that's actually part of the reason that I sort of cut this traveling thing. Not really short, but I guess I've been excited to branch out because I was like, man, this trip was cool, but it was way cooler when I had like an influx of money and I wasn't worried about my financial status. And I was like, man, this is kind of stressful living life while also not living paycheck to paycheck, but not exactly looking at my bank account every day and going like, hell yeah, I'm gonna make it, And so
Oh, dude, yeah, it's like, oh, I can go get that Starbucks. It's all good.
I hated that feeling. And when I went to Hawaii a couple years ago, that was like one of the most eye-opening experiences ever because we were 1 week into the trip. I'd spent twice as much as I had thought, which was fine. I still had enough money, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like watch what I spent a little bit the last week or so.
Yeah.
And that as soon as that happened, the next day my taxes came back, and I got like $3 or $4,000 just like dropped in my checking account. And I remember just staring at it, kind of being like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, okay, I'm not gonna blow all my money, but I could. And like that feeling of saying I could was the most like incredible high I've ever had in my life. For like a week straight, I was just like, this is dope. And I never forgot that. I was like, I want to be financially free. So now that's what my 20s are for. Because everyone's broke in their 20s anyway. They're either broke or they're drinking. So I'm like, I don't even want to do that
Or
either of those
broken.
things. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'm not interested in that. Like my 30s, I know so many people, especially on social media, the people I looked up to that were living their best life. They're all in their late 20s and 30s. I was like, bro, I should just. I don't know. I was like, maybe the 30s aren't so bad. And so that's what I've been thinking. I mean, and plus it's fun. Like the stuff that I'm doing, at least in like the NFT and crypto space that I've been like raving about on social media. It's fun to me, just being obsessed with it. So.
I mean, it confused the absolute crap out of me. I can't even lie to you. Like, I had to watch, I think I watched like one of your videos like 3 times to see what you were
Really?
talking about. Oh, dude. I mean, like, even I did literally, I have an MBA. Like, I did business, and I literally am listening to you, and I'm just like,
All right, hold. I have a good one because this I put this on my story once. You may not have seen it. It was Gary Vee, and they were like, "How can you explain it in like one sentence that'll actually make it click?" And he goes, "Because they were like, why would I buy this like digital currency, digital asset thing? How does it help me out? How does it help my social status, whatever?" And he goes, "Well, you can't," because he was like, "You can't see it. It's like on your phone, right?" And he goes, "Well, you can't see my blue check mark on Instagram. Like you can't see my 9 million followers that I have on my Twitter." He goes, "But you know that they're there if you know who I am." He goes, "So an NFT is the exact same thing. It's like a digital asset where like you can't see it, but like the amount of people that would see your if you had a Mona Lisa painting in your house, you'd see maybe like one person would see it a year, like whoever comes to your house. But in the digital world, you have a public wallet where anyone can look at your shit. And like for people who want to flex, like people now who buy hype clothes and stuff, they want people to see their wallet, and anyone can at any time in the world. And I mean, only like 1% of the entire earth even knows what NFT and crypto is. But I'm in that world, and it's like a huge amount of people still, even though it's 1% of the world. And I'm just like, damn, bro, and it's like so innovative. Like every week there's something new. And that's how like the world is working. So I was like, shit, this looks like it's pretty promising. So I kind of like dove full into that.
yeah.
So
But like you said, you're kind of free at this point, right? Like it's time. Even if it's not a mistake, now is the time to make mistakes, right?
yep.
Like obviously, like you don't want to be poor and living on the street, but and rely. You don't want to rely on your parents, right? You
Yep.
don't. You don't want to do it,
No.
man. I don't want to ever have to go back home. Just like shout out to Angie, but I don't want to head back
Angie.
there.
It's tough, dude. Especially after like living the life that you've lived. That would be. I mean, have you thought about like a transition? Like, I worry sometimes when I get back into an apartment, I'm just gonna fall back into the same routines where I like was upset and like it didn't feel so good. But I don't know. I feel pretty changed. Like I feel like I picked up a bunch of great lessons as far as like being more grateful, being literally the answer to everything. And I was like, wow, fuck.
Well, dude, you were alone, eh? Like that was like
Mm.
that's a big one. Like being alone on a like a Joyage as you've coined it. I think like I think it's like a huge thing. Like being alone throughout that is a big one. Like if you're with someone else, like you can kind of like escape the things going on up there. But like as soon as you get there, as soon as like they leave and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm out in Olympia National Park, but all
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can think about is like the next 10 years of my life. Like like it starts to get a little scary. So like if you've gotten past that, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it took months before I was able to like let go about some of the anxieties I have of the future and like constantly looking in the future, and I still do, but I had like a crazy like transcendent experience in that national park, which is part of the reason I love it there so much because it just like changed me. But I just remember like having my like eyes opened, and it was just crazy. But I was gonna say like while we're on that topic, I feel like you might be sort of spiritual. I saw like you had some like a beaded necklace. You had like the tattoo, and I was like, he's got the aesthetic for someone who's into a little bit of spirituality. And I feel like with all the traveling you've done, you've maybe picked up other cultures. Like I know you were talking about something with Buddha earlier. I forget what it was, but yeah, like what are your thoughts on like the Eastern cultures and like traditions and religions compared to here?
Yeah, good one, man. Like Buddhism is something like that's really interesting, eh? Like I've been to a few Buddhist temples since I've been here, and each one has kind of a different feel, but the same feel.
Mm,
Um, I'm sure like it's the same with like in Spain, like Catholicism is a big thing, right? Christianity, I guess Catholicism, it's more along the more along the exact thing I want to say, but like the big churches there, you get a different feeling at every single church you go to, but it's all kind of the same feeling. It's super weird, man, because like as someone that like used to be in like the South with
yeah.
the with
Yeah.
the real Christianity,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Um, like and being, and going to church every Sunday for like 18 years, and then when you finally like leave and you're like, why did I do that?
Oh my
Because it
God.
felt so damn good while you were there,
Yeah.
right? Like it was great. Here though, I mean, it is a how do I even put this? It's a process. Like I think like it's something like that's like you have to keep doing it, and there's things that you have to keep going and doing, and like people make pilgrimages here, and
God, that's
when people
crazy.
pray, do people pray like they get down like on their face, and like they prostrate and stuff, like it's like a real big deal. And people live their lives like that. And there's people in every single place that I've been to, like monks that I've seen at every single place. So like
Wow.
it's in your face, but it's not. And then there's a multitude of religions here. Like there's also like Christianity is also here, but it's not as like in your face as Buddhism, I guess,
Yeah.
because they don't have the huge temples, and like the huge Buddha statue that I just saw in this national park that I hiked. It was huge, man. It was probably like 50 feet tall. It was
Oh wow.
massive.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super cool. Like I don't think that I can get like too far into it because I don't really know everything there is about it. But like I know the main thing is just kindness, right?
Mm.
Like Buddhism is all about kindness, and that's the main thing that I get from it, right? There's also a lot of cults here.
What do you mean?
Like so like it's a thing. Like people will come up to you and be like, hey, we've got this like great group of people that you should come out and like check us out. And be like,
Where? At like a roller skating rink or something?
yeah,
Like,
it'd just be like a random building, and you just go and you get this vibe. Like
interesting.
I'm definitely in a cult. I'm definitely in a cult right now.
Weird.
There was like a big outbreak of COVID because of a cult, but no one wanted to say that they had been to this place because then they would
Oh
know
my
that they're in the
God.
cult.
Wow. That's weird. Do they like do something weird? Do they do like I don't know, like devil worship or something, or is it just like is it, when you say cult, is it something that's bad connotation or just like groups of people?
Dude, I can't even tell you because all of the people that I've known have been so hesitant to speak about it. Like it's
Really?
just kind of I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of a weird vibe, man. Like I think it's probably some shady, but not shady enough to where they like doing illegal stuff. Because if they were doing illegal stuff, like people catch on. Because
Right. Right.
here, CCTV is everywhere, man. You can't get away with anything.
Really?
That's why this place is so safe, because everyone just like knows they're on camera.
Yeah.
Like in America, like if I left my phone just like chilling on the table at a restaurant and I left for like 5 minutes,
Be gone.
what's the odds of like, yeah, exactly, like 100% gone. If I do that in Korea and it's like I can leave that there overnight come back and it's still
Wow.
there.
I've read something about, or someone told me about what is it? What's the party capital in Asia that everyone goes to? Not Bali. It's something like that. What's it fucking called? It's all the social media influencer people go here. It's like a Bali type place, but it's like all partying. And my dad's friend had been there, and he was like, yeah, it's like you can't get away with anything because everything is there's like a camera every 20 feet in the whole country. And so they're like, you cannot get away with anything. They're like, if you take someone's phone, you lose your hand, kind of thing. Like they'll just chop off your hands, like third world level. And they're like, wait, what? I was like, isn't it like one of the richest countries in the world? Oh, Abu Dhabi, I think is what it's called. Um, and they were like, yeah, you cannot get away with anything. So no one steals. Like you can leave your phone like anywhere and just leave it there forever, basically. And I was like, and my
But
dad's
it's not like about their kindness, right?
no,
It's not about kindness. It's about CCTV.
yeah. How do you get treated in Asia? Do people look at you weird? I remember when I was there, people would younger kids would like run up to me and ask for like pictures and stuff. And you're tall, you're like 6 foot, so I imagine you stick out even more.
Yeah, man. I'm bigger than most people here,
Yeah.
obviously. So like on the buses and stuff, like people just kind of like glance, a little
Yeah.
bit.
Like holy shit.
Especially like, yeah, no, like, and I'm in a place where there's not like a huge number of foreigners. Like Gwangju is down in the south, and it's not necessarily near Seoul, which is like, the capital where most of the foreigners are. Seoul and Busan are like the top two places for like foreigners.
Mhm.
But Gwangju is like decently big, but I don't think they see as many foreigners. And I also have tattoos, like you said. And like if it's hot out, I'm not putting on a jacket,
Yeah.
And like tattoos are becoming more of a thing here, but it's technically still illegal. Like you have to have a like doctor's degree to be able to like give someone a tattoo, like
So,
dermatology or something. Like
but you got it
like
out of the
it,
country, right?
I got mine out of the country, right? But like you see more people here with it,
Mhm.
but it's the fact that I'm a tall white man with
Yeah.
long hair, with tattoos. And
Yeah.
and the standard of dress here is a little bit like higher.
Really?
So like yeah, like it's definitely like 90s chic kind of thing. Everyone either wears black, gray, or white,
That's
or
funny.
like a tan. Like it's all neutral colors. Like no one ever stands out. Like everyone tries to like look kind of similar. Um,
Is it a
which
progressive
like to be fair,
city? Is it like a younger
mm,
people, like new fashion, waves, trends, or?
so the area that I'm in is called Suwon. And there's more young people here, but like in older cities, like yeah, it's gonna be kind of like um it's gonna be kind of weird. Like
Mhm.
Seoul, super progressive,
Yeah.
Busan, super progressive, Jeju, which is like the island. I think I was gonna go this weekend, but I think the flight was booked, so I'm gonna go to Busan this weekend and
Cool.
Jeju next weekend. Um, Jeju is pretty cool too. It's like it feels like Hawaii.
Really?
I mean, it technically is Hawaii, like of South Korea. I went there like July, and dude, it's so cool. There was like people surfing,
Wow.
people with like tattoos, down there. Like, and Koreans can get dark too, but
Yeah.
like the aesthetic is like they would like paler skin. But everyone had dark skin there, and just like, oh, it was great, man. And it was so interesting coming from my area where everyone kind of looks more or less the same.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I get a lot of looks. And kids, yeah, kids love to do this thing where they walk by you. They walk close enough where they like you're not like touching each other, but and they say something in English. And they'll just be like Captain America.
Oh my god.
Or if like
Uh,
they're bold enough, they'll come say hello. They'll be like,
uh,
hello. And you have to be like, hello. And
yeah.
then I say like, and I'll say, how are you? And if they don't know what that is, like I'll say it in Korean and they're like, Hanguma? Like, do you speak Korean? Like,
Wow.
like,
So are you speaking Korean when you go to like, are you like fully speaking it and everything's good like when you're by yourself and stuff too?
dude, I can't even claim to know how to speak it like well enough to get by on day-to-day things. Like eating, like if I go to a restaurant, like I can understand what they're asking me, what would I like? I can tell them I want one of these, two of these,
Mm.
like that sort of thing. I can ask where the bathroom is, taxi driver ask where I'm going. I can tell him like where are you from? Like the main things that you need to
Mm.
know. But like as soon as you start giving me like vocabulary that I'm unaware of and like grammar that I can't tell you, I just lose all sense of like reality. When you first learn a language, it's rough, dude.
Yeah.
And I just did like an intensive kind of like 1.5 month class. Um, and it helped a lot, dude. I mean, like once you learn how to read it, like I said, like you can get by. You can get by pretty well. Because at a restaurant, like you can read it and it'll say like, teriyaki chicken. And you're like, what? Like, why did I even like get
Wow.
scared of that last
That
time?
is so funny.
Like
Yeah.
tonkatsu. Like once you know like the
Yeah.
words, like it's so easy to like pick up other things. And once you know like the basic grammar, you can get by. But yeah, I can't even claim to be like okay in public because if somebody comes up to me just randomly, is like, how do I get here?
You're like, ooh.
Like, let me just throw on Google Translate real quick. Hold on. But I can say
Wow.
like, can you wait one moment? Let me
Yeah.
get my phone. Like,
That's so funny. Yeah, I was in Japan in 2017, last time I went, and that was 2017 would have been like sophomore year of college, I think. And I can speak Japanese, like I'm probably better than I thought I was, and I know like a decent bit of vocabulary, and but I'd always had my mom around me who can speak like fully. She can always bail me out. And I went to dinner with her and like her high school friends or something, and I guess my mom had like stepped out to take a phone call or something when I was in the bathroom. I didn't know, and I remember I was walking back to the dinner table and like she wasn't there, and all her friends were just sitting there looking at me, and I was like,
oh,
but they had already seen me, so I couldn't just like go back to the bathroom. I was like, son of a fucking bitch, and I just like
Kambawa.
I was like, hey, and I just sat down and I was like, okay. And I remember like sitting down and it's like on the ground. So I'm sitting down. As I'm like going down, everything's going in slow motion. And I'm like, what the fuck am I about to have to say to these people? I don't know anything. I don't remember their names. I don't remember what they were talking about. Like, and I remember I made something up.
Sumimasen.
I just made some bullshit up. Like, I was like, okay, what could I comfortably talk about to a kid that would make sense with an adult? And I said something like, I saw someone smoking in the corner and I was like, oh, so you can smoke in the restaurant in you can smoke in restaurants, I guess. And they were just like, oh yeah, I guess. So we just like bullshit for like 5 minutes. And I remember just like at the end, I was like, where the fuck are you? And like she finally came back. I saw her rounding the corner. I was like, oh my god, thank you. And they were all like, oh, Kumi. Dude, that was brutal.
Sitting on the floor in restaurants, let me just like point that out, is hard.
Yeah.
It is so hard. My knees are so crackly after playing soccer for such a long time.
Yeah.
And like just the flexibility just left me, man. I'm like
Yeah.
crack I did it I went to like a folk village like 2 weeks ago and like restaurant sitting on the floor. I sat down and all you hear is just like sounded like crushing up like a Coke can or something, man. It was terrible.
Have you played any
I've had
soccer?
so many. Yeah, man, I've been playing out here. Quality is not there, but love those guys to death. Love those guys. They're great people. Um, a lot of foreigners on the team. Like the Korean, like I said, like Koreans are super shy. Koreans don't want to like come up to you and like talk to you.
Mm.
Because they think that their English is not good enough to speak to you, and you think that your Korean
Yeah.
is not good enough to speak to them. So like there's like a disconnect there. And obviously like COVID, like it stresses people out, man. So like there's obviously like the view like foreigners like bringing COVID, because it's true. Like those are the people that are coming in, like on the planes that are
Mhm.
bringing like according to like the government messages that are coming in.
Yeah.
Um, and like obviously we're not the only ones, but that's the view. It's the same in the US, same thing. Um, but yeah, there's a little tension, but they're like super welcoming people. Like as soon as you give them a little bit of Korean, they're like, all right, like I like we can do this. Like we can
Yeah.
do it. Like if you're at a restaurant and like you just like say like something, just like a little something to somebody next to you, they just like buy you stuff. It's like crazy here,
What?
man. Yeah, like it's like if you can get on a like get in with like a group of people, like you can get like a lot of benefits. Like like older people that are like married or grandpas, grandmas, you call them ajumas and ajushis.
Hmm.
And if you like can get like in with the ajumas and ajushis, they can give you so much free stuff, like especially at restaurants, man.
What do you
They just
like?
start bringing
Who? The just a random customer?
it'll be customers, owners, like whatever. Like as long as you're like the foreigner, you know what
Oh,
I mean?
okay.
Like
Okay.
that you can come in there and like they're like, this guy like knows some Korean, like I can communicate with him a little bit.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, here's 2 plates of food that you didn't order. Here's some service items.
What?
Here's some drinks. Like,
Wow.
oh dude.
Wow.
But like people want that without giving the effort of like trying to speak
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
little bit to them. You know what I mean? Like people want the cart before the horse, I think, or put the
Yeah.
cart before the horse,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's
Um,
scary. It's nerve-wracking walking up to somebody that like you want to talk to, but you don't know what to exactly say.
yeah, me, anytime I've been like brave, after like a few shots of soju,
I'm
and
gonna
I'm
talk
like,
to her. I'm gonna talk to her.
all right, I'm not that brave, buddy. I'm walking up to dudes, like let me start small here. Like in the
That's so
and
funny.
like it's oh dude, and they'll be like wasted and they'll be like 안녕하세요, like
Eh,
what's up, man, and they'll be like, oh,
that's so
저
funny.
제네세요, like are you good, like what's up, bro, like
Wow.
it's pretty cool. It's a cool experience, man. Like honestly, being uncomfortable is only for like a split second, and then like
Yeah.
once you get over that, like it becomes pretty fun.
Yeah. It's just like a speed hump. It just takes a while to get over that first little bit. And as soon as you're over, you're like, okay, I'm fine. And you just keep going.
But that speed hump is full of like obstacles in
Oh
itself.
yeah. Yeah. The speed hump is not just a speed hump. It's a big thing.
The first like 4 months I was here, I was like, I'm never gonna make it. There's no way.
Really?
And like as soon as, oh man, my job is like pretty stressful just because like the like it's just this location of the job, right? It's not like every job in Korea. It just happens, right? Which is jobs anywhere. It's just happened that my job is a little bit stressful. So like I would come home and I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do anything. Like I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to sit. I'm sure like you had like the same kind of like feeling
Oh
at one
yeah.
point, right? So, but like once I got past that and I was like, it's just the job, right?
Yep.
Just the job that's like there. Like I can push that away. And that's when I started like traveling. That's when I took the Korean class and I was like, there you go. So like
Yeah.
integrating a little bit is always helpful, especially like you said with like the long trips.
Hmm.
And just offering a little effort. That's a big
Yeah.
one. Putting a little effort forward.
I don't think people realize how much like what it means to travel like full time. It's like not at all what people think. It's not like, I mean it is like amazing pictures and like cool experiences, but like I don't know. You
That's
don't
like
feel any different.
30%.
Yeah, yeah. It's like 30%, and you don't really like you don't feel any different when you're out there. You don't like you're not out there going like, fuck yeah, I'm like traveling, I feel good, I feel satisfied. Like nothing changes about you when you're there. You're the same person, you're just there instead. Like that's why there's videos on TikTok now. Like now that I've been to all these crazy beautiful places, most of the places you see on TikTok in the United States at least, when I see them, I'm like, okay, I've been there, and it's cool. But it's like now that I see it, I'm like, it's it's like a misrepresentation because I remember watching this before I had gone and going, wow, it's so beautiful. That's so incredible. If I could just be there, I would be like set. I'd be like satisfied or whatever. And then I was there and I was like, damn, bro, like it doesn't matter that I'm here. Like I would wake up at this beautiful place and I was like, I don't feel any different waking up here than I would waking up in a Walmart parking lot. And that was eye opening for me.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, like if you're like I think being present is a big one. Like if you're present in that location, like you shouldn't feel any
Mm-hmm.
different. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
if you're generally, thinking about like then and now, you don't feel any different. Now, you may come to appreciate something like being there and you can say like I can appreciate this. I can appreciate that like that view or I can
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that hike or whatever it may be. But you snap the picture and you're just like, why did I take that picture again? That's a
Yeah.
big one for me, man. I'm always like, why did I take that picture? Like I want to remember it obviously, and I feel like it's a memory thing, but like it feels kind of dirty,
Yeah,
like
I know what you
taking that
mean.
picture,
I know what you mean.
like I'm sure even more than vlogging. I feel like vlogging would be a big one for me. Like I'm just dirtying the crap out of Olympia National Park right now, aren't
That's
I?
exactly how I
But I'm gonna
felt.
but I'm gonna do this video and I'm gonna show people what it's all about.
Yeah. And it just feels like a show. You're putting on a show. I hated that. I mean, I can make vlogs if they're not vloggy, and it's fine. But I still like I don't know like when you're filming it, it's just not the same because you got to think about the mechanics behind everything, the angles. Like if I have enough B-roll to like make this video work, and then I don't know, it's just like it's not the same. Because when you show up somewhere and you're like with your video camera and you like walk up and you're like, wow, look at this crazy place, but like you would never say that if you didn't have your camera. So it's just like you feel it's like silly when you're doing it. I don't know.
I'm also like an internalizer. Like all of
Mm,
my thoughts are like up here.
mm.
So when like I can't even think about like trying to like record a video of like my thoughts. Like when have I ever actually spoken my thoughts before?
It's great, dude. That's literally why I did the podcast because I would keep it bottled up, and then like every now and then, you'll be in your room, it'd be like 2 a.m. and you'll just start ranting to the wall. And I remember I was sitting there one day and I was like, "Damn, bro! Like I said some woke shit just now. I should have recorded that." And then that's like basically what the birth of the podcast. So I was like, I'm just gonna like turn the camera on, no idea what I'm gonna talk about, and then like over time I started to like say, okay, I kind of want to talk about these certain things, and it just became this thing, and then like yeah, but it just started as me wanting to vent to someone. And then I was like, whatever. Like every time I like vent about something, like one or two people will reach out and be like, oh, like I feel the exact same way. And then when TikTok came around, and like all these huge communities of people are coming together because people are posting like funny things that we all used to do as kids, and everyone's like realizing that we're basically everyone's the same, just different data. And I was just like, damn, bro, like we've all done the same shit.
Yeah. And like your thoughts are probably somebody else's thoughts.
Yeah, dude, like there were like 1% of your thoughts are like actually original. They're like not even 1%. I was like, there's no way. And they're like, if you pay attention to your thoughts, most of your shit's just repetitive. The same thing you thought yesterday, just different context.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember there was a span of about 5 months where I started like keeping like not a diary,
Mm.
like a daily
Journal.
kind of yeah, daily journal. I guess a diary. Yeah. But I would write down things, I just like write down just weird thoughts I had or things I thought about or like thought of the future today, like
Hmm.
thought of like 1 year into the future today. And I went back, started looking at him like, dude, like I just stressed myself out about this like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking of this again? And then I just stopped doing it. But I mean, I bet you if I did it like consistently, I would just look back and laugh at like what I was thinking about like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I mean that's the best part with journaling that I think goes flies under the radar when people try and convince people to journal. Because every time I've heard that, I'm like, yeah, I should do it. I never do it. But if you look at it from the sense that like, I remember someone I forget who said this, but there is a talk, and he goes, the reason I journal is because if I don't, everything stays up here. He goes, once you get it out on paper, it doesn't constantly recycle in your head. Like for some reason, you like getting it out onto any form of anything, especially when you're writing it out, it just like clears up. It clears like space on the plate, basically. Like if all the info, all the shit that's swirling in your head, at least you just get to scrape some off. And so that's how he talked about it. And it's true because I'll look at journal entries from like a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, and I'll just be like, dude, I don't even know who that person was who wrote that. Like, what happened? Like, I feel like I've evolved so much since then, kind of thing. And you realize all your thoughts are just like, just come and go. Like, they just come and go, pop right back up. And it's weird when you're by yourself for a long time too. You start to go a little crazy.
Oh, dude, when I came here for quarantine, I was in here for like you can pretty much see behind me. There's nothing in this freaking place. And I could not leave for 2 weeks. And I was just sitting there and I'm like, this is it. This is like the mental hospital. Like this is how I go. Like this is it, man. Where are the padded walls in here? I need to throw myself against something. I watched everything on Netflix. I have nothing left.
Wait, what did you do all day? Did you just sit in your bed all day?
Man, I literally just like binge watched everything I could. It was I watched a bunch of anime. I watched all of Naruto Shippuden, which is like not 900 episodes, it's One Piece. I'd watched 400 something episodes of Naruto Shippuden in like 2 days. Not even. Like it was gross. And then just like binge watch a bunch of stuff, and then like watched movies that I hadn't seen in a while, like watched Treasure Planet. What else did I watch? El Dorado, like the really good ones, the really good animated films. What else? Joseph, Prince of Dreams, the DreamWorks type animation stuff.
Yeah.
And then just like called home like a lot because I was like, I'm bored. What are you doing? My mom got sick of it. So Ty just stopped picking up.
Are you serious? That's so funny. What's Ty up to?
Ty's in New York, man. He's living it.
Damn.
Yeah, like York. He's like I think he's still working at Sephora. He's doing like makeup. Cool. And he's doing drag too. Drag queen.
Cool.
Yeah. So like I think he does that just like every now and then, but like his main thing is Sephora. But Ty lost all his hair, man. Ty lost all his hair. Yeah,
he lost it.
Because in my family or my mom's side, like my granddad's bald, and it was either gonna be me or him, man. It was gonna be me or him, but I won.
Wait, so he literally lost all his hair?
Yeah, he's like halfway bald. Yeah, it's great.
What is he? I was just saying, is he all right? Like, is he mentally good?
Yeah, he's fine, dude. He looks good, man. He really does. He can rock it. He rocks the shit out of it. And then he wears wigs sometimes too.
Nice.
Because like fun. If you have he has drag wigs, so he just wears those. But like his hair is just like phew, and like mine went phew.
Hold on, I'm gonna switch my batteries out real quick on the camera in front of me.
All good.
So he's in New York. That's cool. I went to New York right before I went out west, and I remember leaving and saying, I would love to live here one day when I have money, just for like a semester or something,
Dude, he was so poor for so like. He's gonna hate me for saying this. Like he would just like eat at McDonald's like all the time. Be like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, it's expensive to live here. Like I didn't even think about that because I'm living in South Carolina where it's just like, you go out to eat. It's like, you go out to eat at a nice place. You're like $20.
Yeah.
You go out to eat to a nice place in New York, you're paying like $100. Like at least like that would be like mid-tier almost. Like no way. Like you have to have like money or make some money there,
Yeah. When I was in Vegas, I remember that I was like, wow, this is like the hub. When we were there, I was like kind of in awe. I was like, this is the Las Vegas that people go to like do the biggest shows. And because we went to Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay's restaurant.
Right.
It was phenomenal. Like literally the best food I've ever had in my entire life. I've never tasted food that much quality. It was unreal. Because I was like, I figured it was gonna be good, but I was like, I don't know. But then when I left, I was like, I guess he's famous for quality of cooking, so like it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
and we got this like this croissant roll wrapping like a steak, like a medium rare steak. And I just remember cutting into it, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I just remember everyone ate, and we were all just like, "What the fuck? This is so good." And I was like, "Yeah, I am shocked. This place," and like everything was amazing. Like it was top tier service. I was that was the first time I've ever been like really really pleasantly surprised after a restaurant. 'Cause typically I'm like underwhelmed.
Yeah, right. You like expect something like that's what I was about to say. Because usually I'm like, oh, this place is gonna be so good, right?
Mm.
Like you expect it to like melt in your mouth, that type of thing, and you just get there, so disappointed. But oh man, that's great. I'll definitely check it out if I ever get the chance. It's
Yeah,
a good. That's a good on the list.
yeah, and it was like $100 to go, something like that. 110, which is no problem because that's like probably a once in a lifetime thing. Maybe I'll go one more time, but
Your bachelor party.
maybe, yeah. If I was gonna go to Vegas again, I would want to roll up with at least $5,000 to blow, just so it'd be more fun. Because when you go, like, I didn't really want to gamble. It was like that. Yeah, you could easily spend 5 grand, like easily. If I had no self control, I would have. But I was like, you know what? I kind of don't want to do that. And we like went to a strip club once, one of the nights, and I just remember being like, dude. And two of the guys who were with us dropped $2,000 at the strip club. I was like,
Oh man, you know what I could use $2,000 for right now? I could go to Thailand and back twice. Like,
"Man, 2 grand for blue balls. Like, come on, man." I was like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, it's so stupid.
$2 OnlyFans description, like come on.
It was crazy though. Like it was like there's just girls walking, like just booties and butt everywhere you look, and it's just like wow, like and they just like sucker your money away. You don't even realize they've taken all your money. And I just remember watching because like that stuff doesn't really interest me, so I'm not really like at risk of losing my money. But watching some of the guys you're with just fucking drop money and just give it to people, basically, I was like, bro, what the fuck? These guys are professionals.
If you're drinking too, like you're all of your just inhibitions are out and you're just like, this is all for me, right? No one else is getting this treatment. This is
Yeah.
clearly mine.
This stripper's really into me for sure. Yeah, she's really into me.
That happened to me in Fort Lauderdale for spring break one year. Yeah. I was like, yeah, Katerina, she really just is super interested in me and not getting a visa for the
God.
United States.
Oh wow. Damn. Imagine.
Well, yeah. No, didn't I definitely don't want to relive that memory ever again. So yeah. That's great though. Whose bachelor party was it?
It was my friend. Oh, it was actually Devin. Devin Angel. Remember him?
Is he marrying Sarah?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude. It's like
Nice.
5 years.
I know. I
Yeah.
remember. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't. I've not had anything for 5 years.
I
Like
don't think. I
maybe.
think 2 years is my max.
I mean, I was just thinking about personal possessions. Like
Oh.
I can't even think about a relationship, buddy. Like
When's the
it's
last
just,
time you dated
man, I
anyone?
had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend for about 2 years. I had a girlfriend, but it was long distance. Like that's the issue that I keep getting into. Like you were
Yeah.
talking about, I don't know where I'm gonna be in
Yeah.
6 months, like or a year. Like, and so, I get into these situations where like I'll be 500 miles from somebody.
Yeah.
And we've been dating for like 5 months, and it's like, should we keep going? Yeah, and then like it's 8 months later, and you're like, I have only seen you 4 times, and I think that's like the issue with like this type of lifestyle, right? Like if you're on the road a lot um, and you're not willing to kind of like cut out the like physical aspect of the relationship and just like purely focus on like the communication and the emotional kind of things, I think it's just a big one for me. Like I'd rather see you every other week than twice a year. Like
Yeah.
that's just me, especially being on the other side of the world. Um, I think it'd be kind of hard to like travel with somebody if you weren't like 100% sure that they're like the one,
Yeah.
right? Because I've traveled with people that I was like, oh, I wish I didn't do this.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't do this because now I know I hate you, right? Like
Yeah.
now I know. Because once you start traveling with somebody, you really understand them.
Yep.
You really understand who they are. Um, I was on a Kentucky trip with my ex actually, and she's great by the way. I think like she's like a great person. Um, there was a girl on the trip that I was like, oh, she's a really cool girl. And then it was probably like 2 to 3 days into the trip, and we were walking, and it was probably like a mile. It wasn't very far. She was like, "Can we take a taxi?"
You're like,
Oh,
that's the last straw.
dude, that's it. It was something
God, that's
stupid
so
like
funny.
that. But if I'm traveling and someone says something stupid, and I'm just like, I can't control myself. I'll just turn and like get pissed off. Because I'm in this for the experience, man. I'm in
Yeah.
this for the mile walk
Yeah.
at midnight. I'm like to get to the next bus.
Yeah. It's funny though how many experiences I've had that I literally cannot recall unless someone brought it up to me or I saw a video or something. And then it's funny because like sometimes I'll be traveling, I'm like I gotta do something today, but then like a week later I couldn't tell you what I did. I don't remember. So I'm like, how important was that really? You know?
I just remember the bad stuff. I remember the stuff that I fucked up.
Yep.
Like
Same.
sleeping in the airports, going like sleeping like under a bench in the train station next to another
Really?
homeless guy.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I was in Spain. This was like the last like leg of my like backpacking. I was like, okay, I bought my ticket from Barcelona to Madrid. Got to Madrid and realized that I bought the 7 a.m. train, not the 7 p.m. train, and it was 6:30 p.m. and I walked I didn't have any data in my phone. Like I was like, I don't
Wow.
need data for this. I'll just use
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. Like I got this. I definitely needed data, number one. Um, and yeah, I just started walking around. I was trying to find a hotel or motel or whatever, and couldn't find anything within like a mile or two radius. By the time I knew it was like 1 a.m., I was like,
Damn.
what do I do? So I just went back to the train station, went under a bench with my like big, you know, backpack, huge backpack. And
Wow.
I just cuddled my backpack, and I like woke up next to another homeless dude that was just like on the next bench down. And I was like, yeah, this is travel, man.
Yeah, dude. I remember I fell asleep. I made it actually I made a video with it, but I was trying to get an astrophotography shot or time lapse and you have to stay outside for that over like you have to just do like a long shutter speed with the camera for like 7 8 hours. So I slept on like the bank of this lake in Washington and I had a $2.50 emergency blanket from the general store that I had bought earlier and I had like my hoodie and shorts on and I was just like, I didn't know where my car was exactly. It was already dark at that point. And I was like, fuck, I'm already here. Like, maybe I should just, like, it's not that cold. I could probably sleep out here. And I just remember, like, sleeping there. And I was like, yo, this is what it's like to be homeless. This is rough. And so, yeah, just
You don't think about that, eh? Not having a comfortable place to sleep. Think about that. Not having a comfortable place to sleep every night.
Mhm.
Oh, dude, that is a luxury.
Oh,
That
yeah,
is a damn
100%.
luxury.
Yeah,
I've
I
I've
definitely
I've been
wish
there
less.
before though.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, I could totally sleep outside. It's no big deal. It's not even that cold.
Yep.
It is that cold. You
It
just
is
don't
always that
realize it
cold.
yet.
Yeah. And, but I mean, it's fine now. Like, I have a little bit more perspective. I definitely, like, I don't know. Like if I ever saw a homeless guy before, I would just be like, "Oh my god," you know. But now, like, they're people. Like I've talked to a few now. Like they're just normal people for the most part. I mean, unless you get someone who's like actively on drugs at that moment, then most of them are pretty chill. And like I remember someone told me once because they're I forget if it was their dad, like um, or it was like their mom like didn't give homeless people money and their dad always did, and he was like he was like, if it only happens like once every month or a couple times a month, he goes, what is $1 really? Like, it's just $1. They're like, just fucking give it to them. And I remember, like after that experience where I like talked to a couple homeless people, I was like, man, it really is true. Like these are such good dudes, and I feel like there's such a complete different misconception about who these people are. Like I remember I looked up why are they sleeping in the day? Why are they always asleep in parks? You know, like especially in Charleston, they're always like passed out on the sidewalk. And I found out it's because they have to be awake all night to like fend off people on drugs and like robbing people. They can't get a job because like what are they gonna do with all their stuff? And then they can only work at night. But then what do they do with all their shit? And it's just like it's hard. Dude. The system's not for them. So I don't know how to fix it. Is the problem. I can't really help. But I just I don't know. That I feel like that awareness may help.
It's true though, like and that's like with a lot of things, not just like homelessness. Like,
Mm-hmm.
right, you can think of like, why are they doing this certain thing, or why is it like this? Why can't they do it like us, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is. Like homelessness is like the one that's like out front, like right in
Yeah.
your face, like like you can see that. Um, I think there's like this article or something that was talking about like people that busk, like the people that play like instruments or whatever and like travel that way, and how that is like an issue for real homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Like at the same time, like what's the difference if you're homeless, you're homeless. But then like I talked to somebody that actually, like had been on the street for like a long time, and they said that like they don't have those skills because they hadn't had a comfortable home or a comfortable environment to hone those skills
Yeah.
for 6, 7 years, right? Like, so like they do have an advantage over them, and they can like make actual money while just like with a skill versus
Mm-hmm.
like homeless people that are just sitting there with a sign or whatever it may
Yeah.
be. And I think also, the misconception, because in Charleston, there was that issue that they like basically said that if you give money to panhandlers, then you get fined, not them.
Really?
Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I'm not sure if it's still in in
Ah.
in Charleston or whatever, but it was like you can't give money to them, like otherwise you will get the fine.
Um.
So if you give them $20, they'll fine you for it. But there was like that group of homeless people that like would like make that kind of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was like a group. Um, and I always wondered like if it was real stuff, because you always see the videos of people that are like pretending to be homeless,
Mm.
but I think that's like the minority, right? Like I
Probably.
feel like the squeaky wheel gets oiled. And so like you see the people that are, getting caught doing the bad things, but you don't see the other 200,000 people that are on the
Yeah.
street, right? Like just trying to like, fend off the people on drugs,
Yeah.
can't work, and those type of people. So yeah, dude, it puts it in perspective, eh? Like
Yeah.
like just sleeping outside like one night, like, or just living in your car. I'm sure that's
Yeah.
like an uncomfortable way to live for a little while, eh?
Oh yeah. I mean, you just become grateful of like things that you took for granted before. Like now that I'm here, I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice to like have a place to just be and just like put my shit down or like go to the bathroom whenever I want. Like I don't have to worry about running out of water and having to go drive to a gas station to fill it up or anything like that. And so for me, like that's been the best thing for this travel thing. It kind of also got it out of my system because I knew if I didn't go and try it, my whole life, every time I saw one of those travel TikToks, I'd be like, "Fuck, like I should just try it." And then all the comments are like, "I wish I could afford this," and like now I'm like, "You can," you know. And so I was just big on that. I was like Gary Vee was on my timeline a lot, and he was like, "Just do the thing. You're young. Like do it, do it." And I was like, "Fuck, you're right."
Dude,
Probably
just do it, right? Like do the
exactly.
thing. Do the
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I couldn't do in high school, bro. That's why I never peaked with soccer. I feel like because I just didn't have that like self confidence to go and like do my thing. And I was always like, even like in my last year, I was like signed with the team. I had made North South, and I was like, man, I suck. I can't even dribble. But then I didn't suck, and I was dribbling. But for some reason, that mental thing for me, I just like didn't think I was very good. So that killed me in college because like the coach isn't gonna like baby you, and so I thought I sucked. He confirmed that I sucked, and then like every time you mess up, they like freak out on you, and it was just like a shit experience. But now that I'm playing, I'm like, damn. Like I remember a couple years later, I was playing club with all the boys in the college Charleston soccer team, and I knew a lot of them because of club. And I remember we were playing, and I was like, damn, bro, like I can hang with these guys easily. I was like, what the hell? And after like stepping away from the game for a couple years and like actually picking up some like soccer IQ, I feel like I was like, man, I have a way higher chance of like being a high level player than I did 2 years ago when I was playing. I just didn't have that like field perspective that some people like you do, you know?
Mm. Oh, dude, I mean, at the same time, like if you think you can do it, you can do it, right? Like you had the vision, right? Like outside of soccer to go and like do this thing, right? That like some people think of doing, but not a lot of people think they can do it.
Mm.
And you did it, right? Like you had the idea, you put it into action, like you look at it and you're like, I freaking did it. It's the same with soccer, right? Like, and I think like I was also just a cocky asshole in high school, so that was also a big one. That was just easy for me, right? Like
I
I
couldn't
thought
figure
I
you
could
out in
do it.
high school.
I don't think
I
I
couldn't
could
figure
figure me out.
out.
I don't think I could, man. I was a weirdo. I still can't figure me out. I don't even know, man.
I just remember the
Dude,
flip flops,
fi- oh,
khaki shorts and flip flops every day, and then a gray tank or a gray like V neck.
so talking about phases, right?
Yeah.
Like I had the year that I literally wore it was a white V-neck, by the way. White V-neck, khaki shorts and flip-flops every single day. And then I
Hell yeah.
had the year that I wore literally like sweatpants and a t-shirt and Vans every single day. And then I had the phase that I wore like athletic gear every single
Okay.
day. Like I just had like stupid little phases that went on for like so much. I had a phase that I was like, I'm gonna be an artist. And I wore like ripped jeans for like a
Oh
week.
shit.
For like a week. And everyone was like, oh, Tate, I like your jeans, man. Like what? Like what was I thinking?
Oh
Dude, I look
man.
back on some of the things I've done and like things I was like trying to figure out who I was and like what I was
Yeah.
about to do. And you just laugh because like who was I? Like
I know, right?
what was I trying to emulate with that? Like
I have
who
no idea.
like I was thinking who's my idol? Like who's like who am I trying to like show with this outfit? I had no idea.
High
My
school was
mom
a
still talks about my uniform.
Oh my god, dude, that's so funny. Yeah, high school is a weird time. I don't really miss high school. I remember being very insecure, very in my head, all of high school, and just like trying to be like that popular guy. Like everything was about like making this image for me, and it's just I had no idea who I was, what I wanted. All I knew was like I liked soccer and I liked like impressing girls or something. That was pretty much it. So
Dude, I treated people so terribly in high school. Like especially like people that were like how do I put this? People that like were my friends. I think I treated worse than people that weren't my friends. You
really,
know what I mean? I look back and I'm like, but I think it was because I didn't know how to be a good friend. And I've had like recently I've realized, I've had the same friends for like 7, 8 years, right? I lost touch with a lot of people and I think it's because like I didn't give that effort. I didn't give
hmm
that like love that they were giving me, right? Like I would just like I would take that and I'd be like, yeah, they're my friend, but then like I wouldn't give anything back for that, right? Like I think like being able to like receive it but also give it back is a big one. Uh and I think like making real friends is something that like I was never really good at until I
yeah,
realized that I already had them. You
hmm
know what I mean? And then like once you realize that, you just put everything into it.
yeah.
Um, I've like I said, I've had the same friends now for like 7 years since the beginning of college, and they have seen me through all of my phases, and they have stuck with me through
Hell
all of the
yeah.
phases. And they're great people, dude. I love them to death. But like yeah, in high school, man, like I didn't treat people well. I didn't treat people well.
But you didn't think
Like I
about it
said,
in the
like
moment. You're just like living life.
yeah,
But now looking back, I'm like,
right.
I could have. That was the
Yeah,
same with
dude.
me.
Like well, that's like people say like I've had, we've been friends since high school. I don't have that anymore. You know, I don't think I have that opportunity anymore. Just because of the way like things turned out. And you know, but like I still think about people that have been in my life, right? Like I think you just kind of popped in like at one point, and I was just like, what was he doing? Like what, like literally, I was just kind of like, what's he doing? I checked it out, and I was like, oh, that's cool, right? Like that's awesome, man. Like I checked in on a few other people, and like I really was like curious to see how people are doing.
Yeah.
Because you know what, like you guys had an impact in my life, no matter if it was small, big, whatever. Like you were a guy that I played soccer with,
Yeah.
that I thought was, you know, that was like you were really friends with my brother, right? Like it was kind of like you were like if I had to like pin it, I was like, oh, he's friends with my brother, but like still a cool guy, right? Like still like I thought you were good at, you know, good at soccer, and like you made an impact on the team and those type of things. So I was like, yeah, like he made an impact in my life at some point or other. You were a sentence, a chapter, whatever it is, you know, like in my book, right? Like, and there's like a lot of people like that that I've just like lost touch with, but sometimes they just cross my mind.
Yeah.
So like I've had that recently. I've had that a lot recently.
People in high school, mainly?
Dude. No, just people. I mean, people back from like elementary school, man.
Oh, shit.
Like, oh, dude, I was thinking about this guy. I'm not gonna say his name or anything. Don't want to bring that up, but like he's dead, dude.
Oh, wow.
Like,
shit.
I had no idea. I had no clue. Back from elementary school.
Wow.
And then like, see, like we were all in the same class, right? I was like, he went here, she went here, he went here, whatever it is. Middle school. I was thinking about middle school. Oh, dude, I went to a terrible middle school. Let me tell you. Like half those people are living in a totally different world than I am.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like that's their choice, and I really hope they're happy, dude. That's the one thing. I really hope people are happy. That's one thing that I've come to like think lately is I want people to be happy. Like obviously, like that's like a pipe dream, but like people that have been in my life, it's like, yo, I kind of like I care about you, you know, even just a little bit. Like I hope you're happy. I do. Except the people that suck. Hope you're hope you suck.
Fuck them. Fuck them. That's funny as fuck. Have you met any shitty people on the road, or has it been pretty steady, good people?
You know what? Like I've met some of the best and worst people out here. Not like just in Korea, just like on the road, I guess. Like I'll tell you a story. So when I was in Spain, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Portugal for the weekend because that's just what you do, right? Like,
cool. Oh yeah.
you just head off on your own adventure. And I went with this person, Jamie, and we took off. It was like super late. It was like a late night bus that got there early in the morning. So we took this bus, and it's like 4 a.m. when we get there, and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I gotta use the bathroom. Like, where's the bathroom? So I started searching around for this bathroom. Like, I'm going in the bathroom, and I'm just like sitting there, like, all right, like, cool. Like, I'm just enjoying this pee after like a 4-hour bus ride or 5-6 hours, whatever it was. It was a long bus ride, and I look over next to me, and there's this homeless dude, like. And he's looking at me and I'm looking at him, and I like realize what he's doing. He's just like sitting there like, like, oh, dude. And like, I've had more experiences like that than I care to remember.
Really?
Oh man, like just I've been in some weird places, man.
Interesting.
Like in Europe, especially. Europe is a weird place, dude. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on, a lot of bad people.
Really?
Korea, more foreigners that you run into are bad people rather than Koreans.
Interesting.
Like you find people, well, when I say bad people, I mean that people that are doing it wrong, in my opinion. Like they're coming to Korea for like a paycheck and to go out drinking every weekend and like do the same thing and not respect their culture and not try to not try to get with it, not try to do any of that, like those type of people. And there's a lot of them here. But like the people that I've met, like generally have been good people in Korea. But Europe, oh my God, there was some bad people in Europe. I met this dude, I met this dude in London. So I was in a hostel and I was sleeping on the bottom bunk and he was sleeping on the top. And I just got there to London. This was pre-COVID, obviously. And he looks down at me and he's like, "Hey, yo, what you doing tonight?"
Oh,
And
fuck.
I was like, I haven't figured that out yet. And he was like, "Oh, well, I'm from Ethiopia, but I'm from London." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And he's like, "I'm also a rapper."
All right.
It's like, fuck, what did I do? Damn it. Like, what did I do to deserve this? And he goes, "Come to Shoreditch with me," which is like the party neighborhood, I guess, at the time. And I was like, okay, like, why not? And he goes, "I'm gonna go sell some balloons." And I was like, "What balloons?" Like, this is before I knew like those nitrous oxide shits, like the little, like
Is that what
they
he's
like
selling?
like yeah, he was selling like nitrous
Oh,
oxide, and I didn't realize he was like a drug
yeah.
dealer until I got to
That's so
this
funny.
this neighborhood, and he's just selling balloons to these people, and I'm like sitting there, like I'm just kind of behind him, like I just don't know what to cut because I came here with him, and he lives above me, so like if I just dip on him and like leave him, he's going to know where I am,
Yeah, that's so
so I
funny.
can't leave, and so I ended up selling drugs for like till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And I was like, "Can we go now? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not having a good time." Like, what
Wow.
are we doing?
Dude, it's crazy. That's crazy. In high school, or not high school, it was college. One of my roommates was a dealer too, and I remember one time, like it was chill. Like people were coming in every single day. Like many, he was one of the more famous guys in Charleston. And I was in the living room one time, and we were just like chilling, and I think we were eating, watching TV or something. And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this order real quick. Just like hang out here. I don't know who this guy is." And he usually deals with like college white girls at college girls. It's typically his like customer famous. He was like, "I don't know this guy." Yeah, he goes, I think he like goes to West Ashley, or he went to West Ashley. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I'll stand here. At that point, that was like 2018. So I was like yoked. I was like huge, like big muscles. I wore like tight t-shirts and stuff. And he was like, "Hey, you'll just be like my bodyguard in case this guy's like jacked or something." And so we go and like this guy walks in. He's like a football player, and I remember like David handed him like I'll just blur out the name. I didn't mean to say that, but my friend handed him the bag, and I remember the guy gives him like a wad of cash, and he's like counting it, and as he's counting it, it's like in slow motion now that I think about it. But I just remember like somehow he just like dissipated from the room. The guy just like was gone 1 second, and David's still, and he's still counting. Shit, I'll blur it out again. And he's still counting, and he's like, "Damn, this is like half of." And he looks up to be like, "Hey, this is only like half the money," and he's like gone out the door, sprinting out the door. And he's like, "Oh my god!" He like grabs, I think he like grabs a knife or something. He's like, I was like, "What the fuck did I just watch? Like, did I just watch you get robbed and then like try and like bring like a knife?" And he was like, "Why?" He like comes back and he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like so mad. And I was like, "Bro, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna stab him?" He was like, "No." And I was just like, "Bro, oh my god." I was like, "Why'd you give him the bag?" I was like, "It's stupid." I was like, "You should have counted it first." And he was just like, "Fuck." So that was the lesson for both of us. But I remember that was fucking intense because like that happened right in front of me, like 2 feet away from me. The guy's standing right there, you know.
I have one a little bit better than that one. I have a little bit better than that one. I also lived with drug dealers at one point.
Nice.
Um,
Don't we all?
yeah, right. Um, and we got robbed by a dude with a gun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, three dudes with guns, and they came into our house, and they're like,
Nice.
get it in, and they're like, "Give us the weed." Oh, like the guy throws him this big brick.
Jesus.
And I'm like, where did you keep that, dude? Like, I'm playing Fortnite over here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's so funny.
like, really? And then like the guy that like supplied him or whatever came and he's like, you didn't really get robbed. Like, this is all a show, right? Like, you just want to keep it for yourself, blah blah. And he's like, I want collateral. And he took his freaking Xbox to the TV, man.
Oh, was it your Xbox?
No, it was his, but I was playing on it.
You were the one playing on it. You're like, can I finish my game? That's so funny.
Yeah, like, do you mind if I like, get top 10? Like,
Wow.
oh man. And like, I didn't think about how bad it could have been.
Yeah.
Like, if there was any resistance at all, like kind of like this situation, like, what were you gonna do? Stab him?
Literally.
What were you gonna do? Shoot him? Like, I don't know.
Dude, say some of the craziest shit that I think we both have, and that's like one of the main reasons I wanted to talk to you, just because I knew we had similar experiences. Not many people like can like share some of these like things that we've done, so it's been cool to talk to you. The only reason I'm like starting to wrap up is I see my camera battery is blinking orange, which means it's about to die somehow, and that's like my last camera battery. But it was a pleasure
super nice talking to you again.
Yeah, 100%. Did you want to like plug anything? I don't know if you like, I don't know if you want to plug anything or whatever. Shout outs to your family or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope they don't see this. I mean, like, I guess the one thing that I do use is Instagram. Like,
Okay.
if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Tate Bailey. So just like switch my first letter, my last name, first letter, my first name, BATE. Tailey. I had to think about that for a second. So if you do want to see my adventures, I guess, for the next however many years, come on through.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, man, I'm not out there.
Cool.
So I'm not really, on anything else. But
yeah.
if you're in my area and you want to have a good time, like,
yeah, man, if you're in Asia, I think I have a couple listeners in Asia, maybe.
In Korea, right?
Literally, that would be pretty crazy. They're like, hold my shot.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, okay. I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, like this video. I don't remember what else to say. Bye.